doesn't go that way. Okay, there we are. There's only 4 participants on, so it's mostly people there. But we're early still.
So Terry, Cheryl, Deb.
Hello, Marcia and Richard. You're muted. You can't talk to me.
We're unmuted.
We're unmuted.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Have you
Oh, we're
had your
doing great.
vaccinations?
What's that?
Did you get your vaccinations?
Oh, yes, both of us. And you, I presume?
Yes. Felt
Good.
very,
So are people having to sit further back than we can see on the screen? Because I wonder if anybody's there.
I don't know what you mean. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
in the parking lot.
In the
At
parking
the
lot?
parking lot, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I guess they have them scattered about. I have no idea. I really didn't fancy the idea of going to stand or sit in the parking lot.
No, we didn't. It's a
was-
little chilly
it was
still.
still too chilly.
It will get chilly at least. So we have a special announcement that we're gonna make.
No, you don't make an announcement.
We get to do that. We get to,
No.
to
that's
say,
not in
yeah.
person. No,
Well,
no.
we're going to, we'll tell it to you guys. We are celebrating the birth of our only grandchild.
First grandchild.
Yay.
First grandchild, born on Sunday of this week. So he's only 5 days old.
Where do they live?
Hugo Matthias.
Where?
Where are they?
They live in the southern part of Los Angeles.
Ah,
A
Not
place
too
called
far.
Rancho Palos Verdes.
Oh, okay. Very, they bring you much joy, believe me. I
Oh,
said
yeah,
we
we're looking forward
blinked.
to it a lot. We're gonna see him on Monday of this coming week.
Mazel tov.
Thank you.
That's great.
It's exciting.
Very,
Okay.
totally agree with you. At every age, we used to say, we wish we could just lock them in here. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
And now as adults, to sit across the table from and really be able to discuss issues, it's great.
yeah, well, that's what we're looking forward to. I hope we live long enough to have that happen.
Well,
We're late to the party.
when our first one was born, I was really in a panic mode because I thought, now I'm a grandfather and I remember my grandparents were really old, but it turned out to be like getting reborn and yet to be a kid again. And it was fabulous. Just,
Yeah, that's what we're
Every bit
looking
of it.
forward. That's what we're looking forward to.
yeah, you'll love every minute,
Yeah.
guaranteed.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure we will.
That's why we're buying a place down there. Have you ever heard of
So,
this?
anybody else there? Let's see.
Imagine it.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people. There we all are.
You want to turn your sound off?
What?
There's only 13.
Not particularly. I will.
there's a lot of people there. he
There,
said.
I would imagine most people who are on went to this parking lot.
We have a family in the city. Can I hear my
We're,
unmuted?
we're working.
We're friends with a family in the city and they have no family here. So for a few years, the son who attends Brandeis asked us to be Grandparents' Day. So today they did it via Zoom. And it was really fun. You just get used to a very different way of doing things.
Yeah. I'm
Hi,
still
hi,
looking-
everybody.
Hi there. I'm
Hello.
still looking forward to the chance to.
I have a special guest in
see
my
people in
apartment
person.
today, this week.
Oh,
And who is
Who's your
that?
guest?
My dad.
looks
right
like your
here.
dad.
He's in my apartment for the first time since we got our shots.
Oh, very
Fabulous.
nice. That's great.
That's great for both of you.
We're having our first Shabbat dinner together. We lit our own candles together. And now we're gonna do Shabbat together, the service
Right.
together,
That's
Nice.
great.
instead of separately.
Where was your dad living?
He still lives there. He lives in Baltimore.
Oh,
Is it
yes.
Baltimore? Did you know that?
Right.
He's been doing the services on Zoom, only he's been doing it from his place.
Uh-huh.
Now, this is the first time we're doing it at my place together.
Makes a difference.
Yep, makes a big difference. So now we're finally closer to doing services live and in person again. It looks like. We're getting one step closer.
Except I'd like it to be a little bit warmer.
Right, I just found out now that they were doing it like this. Next week, we're gonna be in Fresno with my brother and his wife for Shader.
Oh, that's nice. Our family's still doing it as we did last year by Zoom. We all use the same code goddess and Jerry conducts a very nice service.
Hi, Gloria. Hi, Carol. You're muted.
I am.
Great.
There
Everybody.
you are.
Hi.
Hey, Jan.
Jan, where are you?
She's
I'm
in
not muted.
Sydney. She's in Sydney.
I
It's
know.
Jan.
I don't mean that. I mean, where is?
It's muted. Temple is muted.
Oh,
Jan, are you out? You're muted.
You're
There you
muted.
are. Hi, Jan. Mwah.
Hi, yes, I'm out of quarantine and I saw my mom for the first time in
Oh,
about
good.
a year and a half. So I'm very happy.
Woo-hoo!
Australia?
Yes, yes, I'm
Yeah.
in Sydney, Australia. Yes.
Jan,
Where-
what time
where
is
in
it
Australia?
now?
I'm in Sydney,
Sydney.
in the North Shore, near Ryde, near where my mom lives in the facility. And it's 12:30 PM on Saturday.
Oh,
That's great.
12:30 PM or AM?
Hi, Jan.
PM,
Hi,
PM.
Jan.
Like lunchtime?
So tell us
Yes.
about the future.
The
What's going
future is
on?
you can go to a mall without wearing a mask.
Why a mall,
It's-
Jan? I wrote you that. Can you go anywhere without a mask?
Pretty much, yes. I wouldn't go on public transportation without one, just to
Jan,
be
you could come
cautious.
here and wear two.
Right,
The
exactly.
future includes me and my dad being in the same room together like we are tonight.
That's
Oh,
wonderful.
that's wonderful, Leonard.
We
Hi,
both got our
Leonard.
protective
Werner.
shot
Yeah,
and in 2 weeks we both
Just
like.
one.
Who's there?
That's so
Werner.
nice.
Hi.
So Jan, how was you were quarantined for a period of time? What did you
2
do?
whole weeks.
In a
yes.
hotel or something somewhere?
Yes, in Sydney in a
Oh,
hotel. I had a
good.
nice room. I kept myself busy and I made it through, which is wonderful. I feel very good.
It's great.
Yeah.
But after the quarantine, you're free to go anywhere?
Oh, not really. I'm staying in Sydney. If you go into another state, you have to sort of register and do all that stuff. But
Wait, is it-
no, I can travel around where I am right now without any problems. Yeah.
Is Sydney
And no
considered a
mask
state?
required?
Beg your pardon?
No mask required?
Not really. No, it's not mandatory. It's up to the individual.
And the space square.
I'm looking forward to see
Nice to see everybody.
It's
Nice to-
wonderful.
April in just 2 more weeks. They're going to finally open the amusement parks.
What are they gonna open?
The amusement parks in 2 weeks.
Oh,
You
yes.
know, I think the one in Vallejo.
Melody.
Yeah, April 1st. 2
Is that
weeks,
your favorite?
There's Judy.
April 1st.
Oh, Judy.
Disneyland too.
Yep,
Oh, my.
April 30th. Got that memorized.
Werner, are you gonna take him?
No, I'm not going. My days at Disneyland are finished.
There you go.
I'll get a full report from Leonard.
I took my dad at 85 to Disneyland. The whole family went with the young kids and I put him on Dumbo. It
Yeah,
Fun.
was fun.
I got a story about that ride. I went there with my brother and his wife and his children. And back then, his daughter was like 7 years old. And the line was real long for Dumbo that day. And
Yeah.
she kept saying she wanted to go. So I volunteered to stand in line for an hour so she could go on the ride.
Oh.
And then after waiting an hour to get on the ride, as we got closer to the front of the line, she all of a sudden got scared and said,
No, we're out here. It's Elijah's chair.
So many, not in the bottom of it.
So Andy, with those glasses on, sitting there, you look like Anthony Fauci.
Oh, yeah. That's Lisa.
1, 2, 3. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Hey ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la la la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la la la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Okay, like I kind of could hear you, and I definitely could not hear you out there. Can we try that one more time? Because I want to hear these voices. I want to feel the spirit of the temple Isaiah that's right here, the temple Isaiah that is zooming in. So, Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Ah, it feels so good. So good to be able to just stand here, to be here, to be able to know that there are so many different ways that we can be together in community, that we're moving into this time, that we can be standing in the Temple Isaiah parking lots, having a Shabbat in the parking lot. How amazing is that? To know that we have the ability to be able to still be sitting in our homes and being filled with the Shabbat of the Temple Isaiah community. If you're new to Temple Isaiah, I am Rabbi Miller.
I'm Rabbi Perlman.
And I am Kenner Korn, and we have not done that for a really long time. And of course, we are so very excited to be joined by our Mizmor band.
Woo-hoo! And absolutely, keep clapping. With these shul claps, I'm over with that. And so we're also excited that on this Shabbat, we are welcoming Hazel Wiener as a bat mitzvah within our community. Who has worked so hard to be able to get to this moment, and the fact that you get to be outside in this community all Shabbat, being able to celebrate with friends and family, brings a warm heart to all of us. And so we would like to invite up her grandmas right now, Susan Small and Ruth Wiener, to light our Shabbat candles. And Hazel, you're going to get why don't you come on up too, because you're going to be leading us in Kiddush in a moment. So you're going to just twist it on the bottom.
There's no way.
They're lighting it now. Speaker view, you can see it close up in front. If you go to speaker view, you can see it.
I've already done that.
Oh, okay.
It takes 2 grandmas to screw in the light bulb.
Don't you put the thing down just a little bit? Now, there you go. Asher kitchanu b'mitzvah tam
v'tzivanu lehalikne shel Shabbat.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you.
And Hazel. Want to grab the Kiddush?
Right here?
Vahi erev, vahi boker, yom hashishi. That's
Wait, do I start over? Okay.
go for it. Yeah, why not?
Vahi erev. Wait. Vahi erev. Vahi boker. Yom hashishi. Ha'amayim v'haaretz v'chol tzevaam v'yechal Elohim b'yom hashvi
melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvi vayakadesh oto kivo shavat mikol melachto asher barach Elohim la'asot Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushana b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon in hilanu zikaron lemase Bereshit ki hu yom tehiva lemikra e kodesh zeher litziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'harta ve'otanu ki dashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodecha be'ahava uvratzon in chaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen. L'chaim.
You can take down your mask. Woohoo, Mazel tov.
Should I go back now?
Yeah. And so, with that, we take the sweetness of Shabbat and we take ourselves out of the week, take ourselves out of all that we do, and we bring ourselves into this present moment, singing Shiru Ladonai.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai Barechu Shemo, Masu Meyom Leyom Yeshuato. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai Barechu Shemo, Masu Meyom Leyom Yeshuato. Sapru v'goyim kevodo, bechol ha'amim niflotav, ki gadol Adonai, u'mahu la'mehod, norahu ha'kol Elohim. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai kol ha'aretz, shiru l'Adonai barechu shemo, masu meyom leyom yeshuato. Kol Elohei Hamim Elilim Adonai Shamayim Asa Hod v'hata lefanav Kol Zatiferet Mikdasho Shiru l'Adonai Shir Chadash Shiru l'Adonai Kol Haaretz Shiru l'Adonai Baruch Shemo Masu miyom leyom Yeshuato.
So if you are sitting here, I invite you to look towards Mount Diablo. And if you are at home, I invite you to look out your windows. When you look out to Mount Diablo, you actually see something that looks very much like the town of Sfat. When you look out to the rolling hills that we have around this area that we live in, we see these rolling hills. And it's in the town of Sfat where they have rolling hills like it, that the custom of going out into the field became this custom that we were to welcome in Shabbat, because the Shabbat bride was seen as coming over those hills and walking down within the midst to be able to join the community. So we can look out to the hills to see Shabbat coming in. We can look out to our windows to see the sun setting and Shabbat coming in as we sing Lecha Dodi. We'll sing all that is on your pages, and on the last verse, we rise together. I invite you to actually face that direction in order to welcome the Shabbat bride.
Lecha doti lecha kala yala la yala la yala la pre Shabbat nekabela. Lecha doti lecha kala yala la yala la yala la pre Shabbat nekabela. Shama nezachor bedibor echad ishmianu el hamiuchad Adonai echad ushmo echad Shemo tiferet belitila Lecha dodi lechad kala yala la yala la yala la Pre Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi lechad kala yala la yala la yala la Pre Shabbat nekabela לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת קלה יאללה לה יאללה לה יאללה לה פרי שבת נקבלה Dodi likat kala yala la yala la yala la pre Shabbat nekabela hitoreri hitoreri kiva ore kovi ori uri uri shirdameri kevod Adonai alayich nigla lecha dodi likat kala yala la yala la yala la pre Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likat kala yala la yala la yala la pre Shabbat nekabela Ovi v'shalom ateret bala Gam b'simcha ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה לך דודי לך חלה יאללה לה יאללה לה יאללה לה שבת Yalla la yalla la yalla la Shama nekabela Lecha dodi likat kala yalla la yalla la yalla la Shama nekabela Lecha dodi likat kala yalla la yalla la yalla la Shama nekabela
Let us be seated once more. And again, a hearty Shabbat Shalom. A hearty Shabbat Shalom to everyone who is here. And a Shabbat Shalom to everyone who is joining us as well on Zoom. Of course, we have this camera. We want to make sure that this Shabbat is
Shabbat
for
Shalom.
everyone. So here we are at a new beginning, right? All
Yep.
right, new beginnings. In fact, spring starts in just a couple days, I am told, although my fingers don't quite feel that right now. And Passover, of course, in just a week and a day. So new beginnings are here, and I love new beginnings. In fact, we are at the new beginning of a book of Torah, this very Shabbat. It is the beginning of the book of Leviticus, the book of Vayikra. Now, maybe you've heard me say this before because I absolutely love every time something like this happens. But I love the very, very, very beginning of Vayikra because of its very first word, Vayikra itself. And in fact, I love it so much the way it occurs in a Torah scroll. I wish so much I could open up a Torah scroll right now and bring you all close to see it. Indeed, I know Hazel will be able to see it so closely in just a few hours' time. But if you were to all look at an open Torah scroll right now, and there was a big gap, that's how you would know the very beginning of the book of Leviticus is starting. And if you had a chance to look at that very first word, you would see something strange. And this is what I love. You would see letters that look like normal letters. You would see a vav, if you can picture it, and a yud, and a kuf, and a resh. But then you would get to the very last letter of the word vayikra, and you'd find an aleph, and it would be so small. And if you don't know Hebrew letters, don't worry about it. Let me spell it out for you in English letters, like the word vayikra. You have, imagine all caps, a big V, A, Y, I, K, R, and then a very little A or AH, depending on how your transliteration works. And you would open up this Torah scroll, you'd look at this word and you'd say, why? Why has your tradition come to be that this word has this tiny little aleph? And it's not just our Torah scroll, and it's not just the other 4 Torah scrolls, it's all 5 Torah scrolls that are here. It is pretty much every single Torah scroll has this little anomaly, this little interesting place. So why? So the word vayikra means, and he called, excuse the gendered language there, because the he is going to refer to God. And God called. God called to Moses. And God is going to call to Moses to tell Moses more about the mitzvot, more about the commandments, specifically in this part about the commandments of sacrifice. And God called. So lots of stories have risen up to explain why our scribes have taken to write this little aleph. And I'm going to tell you my very favorite one. So the idea is Moses is on Mount Sinai. He's starting to write down the words of Torah that God is saying to him. And he gets to this very section that has yet to happen. And God called to Moses. Wait, hold on, Moses says. You called to me? Now we know Moses is the most humble of people. God, you called to me? I don't know. I don't know about that. Why me? Why me? Maybe it's just I was in the right place at the right time. There's nothing special about me. I prefer, God, if we leave off the aleph. Because if we leave off the aleph, we get to vayikar, a whole different word that means to happen upon. Because God, maybe it was that you just happened upon me. And God says, Moses, I love your humility, but no. I chose you. I chose you, Moshe. I chose you, Moses, because of your story and because of your courage and because of your resilience and because of the potential of what I knew you were about to do. And they argued, and some say that aleph, that little aleph is a gift to us to teach us about humility. But others say it is because it is a compromise. It is a compromise between God and Moses' argument in this moment. Because maybe, just like us, things happen to us. External events for good and for bad, and don't we know the bad right now? They happen to us. We just happen to be sometimes in the wrong place at the wrong time, and sometimes in the very right place at the right time. And things happen to us. But we also have to open ourselves up to the possibility of what God was trying to teach Moses in that moment. That there is something special, not just about Moses. No, this is a teaching for each and every one of us. There is something special about you and you and you and you and me. And that perhaps God is calling to us as well. And this is like life right now, right? There are things that we can't control, the things that happen to us, but there is a whole lot that we can. There's a whole lot that we can do during this pandemic to try to be safe and be together at the same time. And that's one of the ways that we get to answer the call. So I want to encourage each one of us as we move through the Shabbat and we move through the book of Vayikra and we move through this life to think about that moment between Moses and God, to recognize the little aleph that is in our life. We have to remember the aleph, it's a silent letter, right? So it is hard to notice. We really have to pay attention. And maybe every moment is really the right place at the right time, as long as we listen to the call, for God is calling. Shabbat Shalom.
May your wonder be celebrated. May your name be consecrated. May your brilliance never fail. From this magnificent world you made. May your ways prevail in our own days, in our own lives, and in the life of all Israel. And let us sing, and let us sing, Amen. And let us sing, and let us say, Amen. May your name receive the same beauty that you bring. Though you are far beyond the sweetest song we could ever sing. And let us sing, and let us say, Amen. And let us sing, and let us sing, Amen. And let us sing, and let us say, Amen. And let us sing, and let us say,
And speaking of calls, we turn now to our call to worship, our call to prayer. We lift ourselves up in spirit and body as we are able for the words of Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
There is so much to be grateful for. We are thankful. We are grateful for our strength. And we are grateful for our courage. We are grateful for our resilience and for the spirit that strives within. We are grateful for one another to lean on at those times we don't feel quite as strong. We are thankful for this world in which we live. We are thankful for evening and for morning and for the opportunity, the ability to open up our eyes to appreciate with awe all that God has given us. Baruch atah Adonai ma'ariv aravim.
1, 2, 3. fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. And we will know that you are Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך, ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
In just over a week, we will be celebrating Passover. Wow. That we're to that point of going and remembering the Exodus from Egypt. We always think about that part when we go to freedom. When we walk through the Red Sea, we dance through the Red Sea, we get our way over to begin that journey to the promised land. But where we need to begin, and especially this week entering into Pesach, we need to begin in that moment when the Israelites called out to God. In that moment when the Israelites called out and said, I need something different. I can't be here anymore. I need my life to change. I need to make a difference. Because if we're going to get to freedom, we got to start in a place of calling out, a place of recognizing that we need to go on a journey to something better, something greater. And each of us has something in our hearts, something that we are reaching for. Maybe it's something small, maybe it's something big. But as we sing Michamocha tonight, that moment when we cross the Red Sea, I want you to actually be in your head at that moment of calling out. What do you want to call out for? What do you want to change? What do you want to start the journey on? And start it now. So next week, when you begin to celebrate Passover, you're already beginning the journey. You're already starting to make that change. You're already starting to go to that place of freedom.
1, 2, 3. Michamocha,
on these journeys that we take, we know the thing that we can take with us is love. Love that we start within ourselves, but love that gets carried forth. That we hope that love fulfills all that is around us, that people can feel that shelter of peace, that shelter of love as they're going on that journey as well.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashivenu, Leshalom. Hashivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashivenu, Leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm.
And I invite you to take a breath in and out. That breath is Shabbat. That breath is just stopping and pausing, of breathing and not doing, of just being in this moment. It is one of the gifts that we were given on this journey out of Egypt. It is one of those things that we say on Dayenu. It would have been enough to just have Shabbat. It'd be enough to just be able to stop and to breathe. And so that's all that we need to do on this day, to just be in this moment, this Shamru. Thank you, God, for giving us Shabbat.
1, 2, 3, 1, and up. Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם לריב עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
we take some time to look in our hearts, to look in our prayers, to think of those in our community, our family and friends who need a blessing of healing. And a moment like this, when we're starting to make that transition, making that transition into being in this space together, we cannot forget that there is still so many in our immediate community in the world who need blessings of healing, who need us to remember how to act, who need us to be there to lend a helping hand, maybe not with our actual hand, but by calling and sending prayers, by delivering food, by being there. If there is someone that you are thinking about who you would like to add their name to our prayers tonight, if you're online, I invite you to put their names into our chat. We'll hear their names in our midst as well. And those who are here, if you want to raise your hand, I'll come around and you'll yell out their name or say their name so we can hear them as well.
And we'll go also over to Rabbi Perlman, who will share names of healing from those joining us on Zoom.
We are also thinking of David Escanos, of Judy and Sandy Leff, of Susan Lucy and Jane Peary, Donna Garrow, Sandy Kasani. We think of Vivian Berger and Jeremy Greenbaum, Henry McMichael, Susie Fisher, Laura Jean Fisher, Blessing Kobe, Yale Downs, Lauren and Tori and Nancy, Arlene and Robert. We think of Charlie Hoffman and Katie Lewis, of Mark Lichterman and Jan Stedman. We think too, of course, of all of the families of those who were affected in Atlanta. We bring them close as well. And of course, all of those who are suffering from COVID-19 and their caregivers as well.
Mishaberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Yishaberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. We enter now into the Amidah, the Tefillah, the main section of our service. And I'll invite you to rise if you are able here in person or in our Zoom sanctuary. We'll begin with the words Adonai Sfatai, calling us to center ourselves and focus on our prayers, and we'll continue silently, either with the prayers of the Amidah, which are in your handout, or simply with the prayers of your heart. And when you are finished, we'll invite you to be seated. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Agita Hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. May the one who makes peace in the heavens, may the one who rolls darkness from the light, send peace to fall like rain upon the earth, little droplets of healing from the sky. May the rain water seeds of understanding. May the gardens of tolerance bloom. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens send a little down here to us. Oh, say shalom, Roma. Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom Roma. Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imeru amen. We're reaching for peace in our lives. We're reaching for peace in our community. Reaching for peace all around the world. And let us say amen. Oh, say shalom shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel, ve'imeru amen. Send a little peace on down. Send a little peace on down. Send a little peace on down. Help us to reach for peace. Send a little peace on down. Send a little peace on down. Send a little peace on down. Help us to reach for peace. Send a little peace on down. Send a little peace on down. Send a little peace on down. Help us to reach for peace. Send a little peace on down. Send a little peace on down. Send a little peace on down. Help us to reach for peace. Send a little peace on down. Send a little peace on down. Help us to reach for peace.
Amen.
I now call upon Alan Jenis, president of Temple Isaiah, who has some greetings and announcements for us on this Shabbat.
Gonna grab this. You can grab that one.
Can you hear me? Shabbat Shalom. How awesome is it?
Shabbat Shalom.
Clergy with the Mizmor band. We've been waiting a long time for this.
Mute Jody if you want to.
Mazel tov to Hazel
Okay,
and
I'm
your
mute.
entire family. This
I don't
is
want
so
to unmute.
exciting. We
Okay.
are so proud of you, and you've worked so hard, I'm sure, persevering through this pandemic to be here today. Really extraordinary. There's a lot going on at Temple Isaiah. The Shavua Tov email is about 20 pages long now. So, but I'm not gonna repeat it all. This Wednesday, March 24th, 7 p.m., Rabbi Josh Weinberg. He's the executive director of ARZA, vice president of the URJ. He's going to be talking about how do we make sense of what's going on in Israel. It's a day after the elections there. So you might imagine that's a multi-day presentation, what's going on in Israel. Thank you, Michael. Can you hear me better now? Should I start over?
No.
Next, thank you. Next Saturday, it's Passover. Community-wide Seder, 5 p.m. Join us. I was going to say with Rabbi Weinberg, please come. He's very entertaining. It's a great topic. Plus, he'll be delivering this presentation from Jerusalem. So for him, for those of you playing playing along at home, that's 4 a.m. for him. So come out to honor him, and you'll enjoy it. So the Passover Seder, we'll have two daytime Passover services, one on March 28th, and then on April 3rd, and the April 3rd service will have a Yizkor as well. There's going to be a Holocaust film discussion on April 5th with our fabulous librarian, Melissa Giannotti. Fanny's Journey. We'll have Yom HaShoah observance on April 8th. The Mimi Epstein Memorial Lecture, April 11th, 10 a.m. with Israeli historian, author, politician, former Israeli ambassador to the United States, current member of the Knesset, Michael Oren. We're very fortunate to have him. April 11th at 10 a.m. There's another page in here. I know the last thing is May 1. Have it on your calendar. It will be the last online Temple Isaiah Gala, Zoom Gala. There will never be another online one. Don't miss it.
He said April 11th, what?
May 1, 6 p.m.
I'll get
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Alan, and thank you so much, Asher. It has been a long time since we had you address the congregation like this for announcements for Shabbat, and it felt good. It was amazing. So thank you so much. As you can see, there's a lot going on at Temple Isaiah, and if you want to know about the next time we are going to gather right here for Shabbat in the parking lot, you can join us on April 9th for a special pre-celebration of Yom HaAtzmaut, Israeli Independence Day, and of course, more Shabbat. So April 9th, right here in the parking lot again. And until then, let us continue to be one another in prayer. As you are able, let us rise for the words of Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
Let us be seated. We turn now to words of Kaddish, to words of remembrance, words that have been recited by our people for generations. In particular, on this Shabbat, we recognize the week that has just been, and we particularly bring to mind the 8 individuals, the 8 people who were killed in Atlanta in that mass shooting, those series of shootings, victims of what we understand to be anti-Asian racism and misogyny. We lift up their names here in this sacred space, remembering Soon Chi Park, Hyun Jung Grant, Suncha Kim, Young A Yu, Delana Ashley Yan, Paul Andre Mickles, Xiao Ji Tan, and Dao Ju Feng. May all of their memories indeed be for blessing. We, of course, bring forth the names of those in this community and those who are remembering loved ones in this community. In particular, we are in the period of Shloshim, of immediate mourning, for Judith Wald, Molly Stein, Corey Brown, and Howard Walkler. If you are also remembering someone tonight for a yard site, for Shloshim, Shiva, or just particularly have someone close to heart right now, I invite you to rise in places you are able, and I will walk around and hear those names. Indeed, if you are joining us via Zoom, we invite you to put those names in the chat as well, and Rabbi Miller will share those names in just a few moments.
We also remember Shirley Gottlieb, Irving Bach and Philip Thier, Bruno Jacob Lamb, Henry Alt, Ken Blum, Mary Gusoni, Philip Glickman, Dorothy Hanley, Don Weintraub, Catherine Williams, Vern Duval, Larry Kaufman, Willard Stinson, Lottie Pinthas Lamb, Sigmund Wolf, Renee Rebecca Coate.
Zichronam Livracha, may all of their memories be for blessing. Let us all rise as we are able to share words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yikadash Shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirotei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dekol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'yizman kari v'yamru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulamei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei d'kudisha b'richu. La'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Ose shalom bimromav, huya se shalom, aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael, v'imru amen.
And let us say, Amen. And let us say, Amen. And let us say, Amen. And let us say, Amen. In just a moment, we'll conclude with the singing of Ein Eloheinu. I want to, of course, acknowledge our amazing Mizmor band. These are not just amazing musicians, they are your fellow congregants. They are your fellow congregants who, if you think your hands are cold, they actually have to do something with their fingers. So God bless them for being here, and what an amazing thing you have done for us tonight to raise our spirits, to bring Shabbat, and to bring a lot of warmth and rhythm into our midst. So I'll invite you to stay standing. Immediately following Ein Eloheinu, I'm just going to remind you that everyone is going to exit onto Mount Diablo Boulevard. We are not exiting this way. We are not exiting the way you came in, but everyone is going to exit up and around on Mount Diablo Boulevard. So please be cautious as you're leaving and watching your fellow congregants leave as well. We conclude tonight singing Ein Eloheinu, written by Michael Gill, the man on the keys over there. And we're so excited to be here. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That's a
Okay, now you can say Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you.
Shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Dancing with Debbie.
What do you want?
Lovely service.
Shabbat shalom, boys. My dad's here with me.
Sure, it's March.
Everyone's here.
Right there.
Believe that. We couldn't get chairs. Ridiculous.
Shabbat shalom, Lisa.
Hey, Jen.
Thank you, everyone.
No social distancing there, see?
Marvelous.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat shalom,
Leonard.
everybody.
You want to see
My
any
dad's
more?
here with me.
Oh, Shabbat shalom to your dad.
Yeah. We're together for the first time in the same room.
Awesome.
Isn't it great how good the sound was tonight?
Yeah,
We're
it
so
was
lucky.
amazing. That was so fun to hear really live music and to have the cantor and them getting to hear the live music.
And everybody together.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was wonderful.
It's
And
incredible.
seeing everybody together.
Yeah.
And hearing live announcements. you
Oh,
know.
that was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. It's nice to see the buildings.
It wasn't, and the trees were so beautiful.
Yes, they are. All the flowers.
I think those are pears. I think they're
Oh.
heritage pears that flower like that.
Well, it was really special.
Very
Truly
nice.
was.
I hope
And they
to
did a
be
good job of
there.
including the Zoom group, I thought.
Yes, they did. I hope we all can be there in person as much as possible anyway.
Well,
But
right.
Good night, everybody. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat
everyone.
shalom.
Shalom. Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat
everyone.
shalom, Ellen. Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat shalom.
everyone.